Hey everyone, Dale from Dream Fever here, and I'm coming to you today with something that's pretty cool that happened. A lot of times I'll be writing something and I'll come to a point in this song where it's time to write the next part, and I'll come up with something that'll be pretty cool, but it doesn't necessarily flow with what I had before. I'll give you an example. So I was working on this piece called The Mountain that I'm doing for my full-length film score type album. And it's a big orchestral piece, very Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones type thing with strings and horns and all that stuff. And it builds to a big crescendo and then it drops off. And the idea is that I would come back with something quiet and slow and sort of build back into another bigger piece once again. Well, when I got to that part, I came up with something that was cool, but accidentally it ended up not being something that would really go in an orchestral piece, in my opinion. It doesn't necessarily go with this song. But I'll show you what I was talking about and kind of how it happened. So this is at about the 21-second mark of The Mountain, and I'll just take you through the crescendo. Triggering intensifies. Lots of strings, big war drums. So you get the point there. You know, it has this big climax, and I decided, you know, for the next part that I kind of wanted a harp to, I guess, bring it back in. Something, you know, kind of John Williams, a little bit like Across the Stars with the triads or something, but different. And I started to put together like a arpeggio for the harps. But what ended up happening was I wanted some reverb on it, and I started experimenting with making some of my own kind of homegrown shimmer effects. And what I ended up with was cool, but I don't think it really goes with this song. So let me show you what kind of ended up happening. Is I got this. So you can hear I've got the Rhea pitch running into the Valhalla Supermassive, and it almost ends up making this kind of rhythmic undertone to it. And it sounds a little bit like something that would go in a Giallo film, maybe like a Dario Argento type film. It's cool, but it has nothing to do with what I had written before. Anyway, also something I should point out, I'm pretty new to all this, so almost everything I'm using is free VSTs. Got this Ethereal Winds Harp 2, which has a great sound to it. The stock Rhea Pitch app that actually does a really phenomenal job. For being a free VST, it's quite remarkable. Valhalla, everyone knows, makes some of the best stuff paid or free, and Supermassive is, of course, available free. And then this Yoan by Owl Lantern. It's a really great sort of a free VST for adding I don't know, it's a little bit of a chorusy hard to describe. It's a chorusy modulator with sparkle and maybe some bit crushing and saturation going on in there, as you can see by the looks of it. But really exotic sounds coming out of this Yoan VST. Let me show you some of the different things it does. I'll just let the ARP kind of repeat itself and mess around with this for a second. So if I increase the depth of the effect, you hear how it gets really discordant there. And then turn it back down, makes it kind of back to normal. This bit crusher here. Very cool. Sparkle. So that's giving it almost a bit of a, I don't know, maybe a shimmer reverb. And the tightness, if you turn that all the way down, you get this. Ooh, that's nice. I like this. Makes it a little bit more free-flowing and reverby. You turn it all the way up. And it keeps the effect on the notes, but keeps it in real tight there. Speed. Okay, so it's almost acting like a tremolo or vibrato with the speed. I had it somewhere in the middle there, in the mix, of course. Anyway, that's a great VST there. I can't recommend any of these highly enough. But I just wanted to say that if you come to a point in a song where you write something and it's cool, but it doesn't go with what you had before, I would implore you to go ahead and take that part and just start something new with it. It doesn't have to be the be-all, end-all that it doesn't work with what you were doing. That doesn't mean that you can't use it. I've ended up with a lot of material that way. In fact, God, probably more than 50% of the stuff I come up with started off as a part for a different song that it didn't end up going with. So anyway, wanted to share that with you all, and until next time.